How have you seen the recruitment market changing over the last 12 months, and how do you see things progressing over the next few years?
It's a really interesting question, Stephen, to start with. I'm actually going to hand the baton straight over to Mark here, because he's really been at the coalface of the recruitment. So, yeah, over to Mark.
Okay, great.
So I think that the general feeling in the international schools head teachers community at the moment is that it's been a very, very flat year for recruitment. I mean, one of my colleagues described it in a discussion we had, a global discussion, that the market is in paralysis at the moment. I think the real question is whether this is just a temporary blip, or whether, as confidence in vaccines and so on increases and travel begins to open up, that actually things will open up in terms of international recruitment. And if I break that down into two groups, I think there are fewer current teachers moving school. So international teachers who are moving from school to school. If you look at the volume of adverts in TES, there aren't so many jobs up. And I think the general approach that teachers are taking is that it's not a year to add to the stresses of life. The teachers who have applied to Kellett have really talked about trying to move out of the cities that they're in as part of it. And I think one of the factors about limited travel is that people are beginning to think, well, if I'm going to get stuck somewhere, where's a good place to get stuck? And I think that, on that basis, Thailand or Hong Kong might be good places to get stuck, and sort of, the back end of China might not. And then I think the other thing is that, very few applicants this year coming out of the UK, particularly to Hong Kong, and that may be for reasons other than COVID. But also, talking to colleagues, I think people in the UK tend to be sitting tight at the moment, and it's not the year to embark on your international journey.
Yeah, I think generally the recruitment round is also getting is becoming earlier and earlier. When I moved internationally, I was really expected to be here for the beginning of August. And often the summer holiday gets lost, especially if you're in the state sector and you're finishing at the end of July. So because the terms are starting earlier and the expectations that you are in situ earlier, the recruitment round is starting that much earlier. So this is peak time at the moment, but schools will try to have a lot of their staff already secured before Christmas, because there's such a competitive market at the moment. There are fewer candidates to choose from, so schools want to get out there early. There's also a huge amount of paperwork to do to work internationally. Your documents have to be apostilled. You'll have to get transcriptions from the university. For Kellett, here in Hong Kong, in order for Hong Kong Bureau of Education to grant me a license, I had to produce evidence of my teaching practices, which are now sort of 25 years ago. Wow. My 4 years worth of teaching practices, the ages of the children I taught, and what schools I did the practices in. So that takes quite a lot of time. And certainly now with China getting visas into Asia. So the earlier the better.